Okay, so let's just do another one for anyone that may have some difficulties there. Okay, so there's different ways of doing the grid. You could do it this way here that I first showed you, or you could do it this way. Okay, let's do another square. Let's say, for example, let's do a, I don't know, let's do one over here. Okay, so it's obviously within a grid square. So this one here is going to be a 6-figure grid reference. Let's do that now. So the first thing we do is our eastings. We come across to the grid square, which is grid square, okay, or we're going to do it as a whole, call it as a grid reference. Grid reference, I'm not going to write it down as such, grid reference 14, 2, okay, grid square 142. How do we get the 2? 1, 2. Alright, and it goes up. Alright, to that box. Okay, grid square 142. So let's write that over here. Oh, sorry, grid reference 142. Then we find the next 3 numbers. We go up. Okay, 30, 31, 32. Okay, so it's 32, so we can put the 32 in. Alright, and we've got to go up. Alright, so we go up 1, 2, 3. Alright, and that would hit the bottom left corner, 3. So we'd call it out Bennydale, map, Bennydale, map number BF34, 1 in 50,000, grid reference 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3. I say again, grid reference 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, and that will take them to here. Now, if they already know what map we're on, let's say you're in the military, and they already know that you're using, in the area of operations that you're using, you're already in the Bennydale area. Okay, they already know your map number is BF34. They already know that you're using the 1 in 50,000 map, ratio map. All we have to do is give them the grid reference. We don't have to worry about giving them the map title, the map number, or the ratio of the map, the 1 in 50,000. All we have to do is give the grid reference 137327 or whatever. Okay, so let's do another one where they already know where we are. So let's go down to, say, this one here. Let's do something a little more difficult. Let's do this one. Okay, let's go. 6-figure grid reference. Okay, grid reference 1, 2. All right, because we're going into that corner. Okay, grid reference 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'd say grid reference 1, 2. Grid reference 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We get the second part. 30 or 30, and this is the 1 here, so it's still in the 0. Okay, so it would be 0. So we'd say grid reference 1, 2, 4, 3, 0, 0. Say again, grid reference 1, 2, 4, 3, 0, 0. Okay, because remember, along this one here is 0. These boxes here are 0. These boxes here are 0. These boxes here are 1. These boxes here are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, 9. is at the top, because we can't go 10, because then we'd have 10 would be 1 0. That's two numbers. We can only have one extra number when we're doing a grid reference. Okay, so that's why the bottom boxes would be 0 along here, or if it was our easting, these ones here would be 0. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's do one over here. We'll do another difficult one with a 0 in it. Okay, so grid reference. Let's write it in over down the bottom here. Grid reference 1, 4. Okay, here's our 1, right? Our 1 line. I'll come in a bit closer. There's our 1 line, and if we go up, that's not on the left hand side of that. So this one here on the bottom corner here is 0. So it'll be grid reference 1, 4, 0. The northings is 3, 0. We'll come across here, 3, 0. Okay, because we're talking about this grid square here. So 3, 0. Write that in. 3, 0, and we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Write that in. 7. So grid reference 1, 4, 0, 3, 0, 7. Again, grid reference 1, 4, 0, 3, 0, 7. Okay, so it's very easy for them to then be able to find us. So hopefully you'll understand that as a 6-figure grid reference. Okay, the next one would be an 8-figure grid reference. Okay, now an 8-figure grid reference, just looking for the cap of my pen here. An 8-figure grid reference goes down to 10 meters squared. Okay, so here we have it here. All right, an 8-figure grid reference is a 10 meter square. All right. Okay, 10 meter square. So what we do here, and I'm not actually going to physically do this, okay, but if you can imagine here when we did our 6-figure grid reference to this, say this box here, what we would do is we would split this black box into 10 squares this way and 10 squares that way. So we'd put another 100 squares, just like in this box here has 10 squares this way and 10 squares that way. So 10 times 10 is 100. So it has 100 squares in this grid square. And what we would do, and so how we've done that, we've been able to split this grid square into 100 boxes, or as a grid system. We were able to find one of the boxes in there, okay? And what we would do for an 8-figure grid reference is we'd do exactly the same inside this little black box here. What we would do is we'd put 100 boxes inside this little black box, and we'd do exactly what we just did here. We would read across into here the numbers to the right, and then the numbers going up. Okay, so we always go across and then we go up. Okay, so like here, okay, first we read the numbers across, then we go up. Okay, so we go, if we're doing this grid square, we go across, then we go up, then we go across, then we go up, and then when we'd be in here, we'd go across again, and then we'd go up into whatever. Okay, so we always go across before we go up. Okay, some people say go down, go across the hallway, alright, and then go up the stairs, okay, across the hallway and then up the stairs, across the hallway and then up the stairs. For this particular one here, some people say go across the hallway, go up the stairs, then go across the hallway, go up the stairs, alright, come in closer, go across the hallway and then go up the stairs to find your location in this little black box, and that would give you an extra 2 numbers, which would give you an 8-figure grid reference. So let's do a real basic one, okay, of this. Let's imagine that we are in, let's say, this box here. Let's say we're in this box here. We're going to do an 8-figure grid reference, okay, and I'm going to put a little dot over here in the middle of it. Alright, we're going to find that with an 8-figure grid reference. So, the first thing we do is we find let's scroll out. Okay, come out as far as we can. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is find our grid square, which is 1, 2 for the bottom left corner, 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay, let's write that in now. 1, 2, 3, 2. Get a big pen. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 2. Let's write that up here. 1, 2, and we'll put our other one over here. 3, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 2. So currently with 1, 2, 3, 2, we are at the bottom left hand corner of this grid square. Let's go across to, let's go across again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, that will take us up to where where it lines up. So 6. So 1, 2, 6. Getting a sore hand holding this like this. Okay, and then we go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's another way of doing it. 5. So 3, 2, 5. Okay, then we'd do it again. I'm going to come in a little bit closer to the camera. Okay, and we'd go across, and we'd sort of, in this case, we're going to have to guesstimate it. So we'd come across, and it'll be about 1, if I can, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 across. Okay, so it's about 6 across. So I'm going to put another 6 in here. Alright, for the easting, because it's one of the ones going across. Okay, and then for the one going up, we're going to write in here. Alright, and let's go back to this. And we're going to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5. It's about halfway up. Okay, so that would be 5. So our grid reference, GR, okay, grid reference. Our grid reference would be grid reference 1, 2, 6, 6, 3, 2, 5, 5. Okay, grid reference 1, 2, 6, 6, 3, 2, 5, 5. Okay, however you want to say it. Okay, so it's easier for them to understand. So that's how we do an 8-figure grid reference, okay, which is 10 meters squared. So if somebody was coming looking for us, they would find us very, very easily, because we'd be within 10 meters. Okay, so that's not a very big distance. Okay, if you look at rugby league, where people back up 5 meters, okay, they'd be backing up twice that distance. Okay, 10 meters. Alright, so if you were going to hide a cache of ammunition or weapons or food or whatever, okay, extra supplies or fuel or whatever, you might hide them in the ground or something like that, or put them somewhere, and you would leave maybe an 8-figure grid reference to that site, to that location, so that you would be able to find them very, very easily. Now, in general, we mainly use 6-figure grid references. Okay, a 6-figure grid reference is pretty accurate to 100 meters squared, and you can't really go wrong with that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to flick the page over. Okay, so if we come back down to here, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to flick the page over. Okay, and I've got another one exactly like what I just did before. And what we're going to do is I've written down some grid references of some locations. Okay, I've written down some grid references of some locations on the actual 1 in 50,000 Benny-Dale map. Okay, so I've actually done some locations in here, and we're going to do those on this piece of paper. Okay, but before we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to do a Roma. Okay, and a Roma is basically, if you look at the scale of the map here, and I've talked about that in my previous video. So we have our scale, 1 in 50,000, and you see the scale here that we talked about before. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make a scale, what we call a Roma, using this scale, for example. So, if we were going to use a scale, or we were going to scale the grid square, we could get the grid square like this. Okay, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to zoom it in a bit. Sorry about that. So what we do is we get a piece of paper, right, or a piece of cardboard, or whatever we want, and we put that up against our on our grid square. Okay, and we want to mark it out. So I'm going to mark it out here. Boom, boom, for each grid square. Now I'm doing it on the grid square itself here, okay, because I've got squares on it. But on the actual map, the 1 in 50,000 map, you won't have these extra squares on it, okay? So what you would need to do is you would need to make your Roma using this here, okay, to get your the 10 little markings here and the 10 markings here. So the next thing we want to do is we want to number them. So I'm just going to find a pen, all right, to mark them. So what we do is we mark them here. So we'd go number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, because we don't have 10. Okay, all right. And then we do the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. And then what we do is I'm going to, we don't necessarily need to do this. I'll just grab my ruler. Okay. And just to make it a little better, I'm going to line this up. Okay, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to line it up. Okay, and what we have now is a Roma. Okay, and what we can use this for is if we are going to do things on the map, we can use this to quickly find locations. So just quickly, I'm going to go back to my last lot of things, and let's imagine we wanted to find this black box here. Okay, what we're going to do is quickly use the roamer to do that. So let's put our roamer on. We'd go, this is 3 1 3 1, oh sorry, 1 3 3 1, and then we'd put our roamer on to where the bottom left hand corner of the box is, and we'd read this off as 1 3 3 3 1 7. Okay, so it's a really fast way to find a box. Okay, so let's do, very quickly, let's do a box up over here. Let's do this one here, for example. Okay, so we know that, just coming out so you can see the grid square, we know it's grid square 1 4 3 2. Okay, 1 4 3 2. So let's write that up real quickly. 1 4 3 2. And to get the 6-figure grid reference, we bring this over, our roamer, we go across to the bottom left, okay, we go across 6, so it's 6, and up 7, okay, because it's at 7 here, 7. So it's very easy to find. So our grid reference is grid reference 146327. So a roamer is really fast way of finding locations in your grid square. Now, I'll jump ahead slightly, and I want to show you, if I can find it around here. I don't know where it's gone to. Oh, here it is. And I'm going to go over this another time. This is called a protractor, and on a protractor we have roamers. Okay, I'll just see if I can find a pencil pointer. Okay, so let me bring this up so you don't have stuff in the way. So here's our roamer, and you can, this is called a protractor, okay, a military protractor. You can get ones for civilian as well, and we're going to be going over this. But if you see in here, it has a roamer. This is a roamer, little roamer here for a 1 in 100,000 map in meters. Here's the one for 1 in 50,000. This one here, that's the one we'll be using on the actual map itself. And here's another roamer for 1 in 25,000 ratio in meters. And on the other side, let me flip it over. Again, we have it in meters again. Okay, so there's the 1 in 25,000 meters, 1 in 50,000 meter roamer, and 1 in 100,000 meter roamer. Okay, so we can use this here on our map actual when we're doing it. Okay, and we can speed up our process of doing grid references. Okay, let's flip this over, and what we're going to do is I grabbed some things off the actual map itself, and we're going to look for it really quickly on this book. Okay, let's have a look here. Let's go in. Okay, so it's exactly the same setup. So the first one we're going to look for is grid reference 6. So it's a 6-figure. There's 6 numbers. Grid reference 122317. Grid reference 122317, and we're going to put in spot height 491. So that's a feature. That's the height of a hill or a mountain. It's 491 meters high. Okay, spot height 491. Okay, so let's do that. So we want to go 122. Alright, let's have a look here. 1 2 3 1. Okay, so I'm going to try and put that down there so you can still see the number. Okay, so we go 1 2 3 1. Alright, 1 2 3 1. So we're talking about this grid square. Okay, let's use our roamer in this case here. Alright, and we go across 1, 2, 2. So we're going across 2, right, to there. And we're going up 7. So we go up 7 till we hit 7. Keep going up. We've hit 7 there. We've gone across 2. Spot height 149. So we'd put that in here. Right. So our spot height would be spot height 149. So that's where our spot height would be. Okay. Let's do the next one. So that's number 1. Let's do number 2, grid reference. So here we're looking at grid reference. Grid reference 137317. Okay, 137317. Okay, so let's zoom in to grid reference 13. So here's our 13. All right. The next part is 1331. So we come across. Here's our 331 here. All right. So we come across. We meet those two up. 1, 3 and 3, 1 here. So we're in this grid square here. All right. We're in this grid square. All right. So our dot's at the bottom left. The next part of our grid reference is grid square, grid reference 1331. So 137 and 317. So we need to go across 7. So the first thing we do is we go across with our roamer. I'll just bring this, hopefully you can see that. Yep, you can see it. So we go across 7. Right, so we've gone across to our number 7. And then we go up 7. So let's go up 7. Right, confirm it. We've gone across 7. We've gone up 7. And our dot is here. Okay, so what do we have there? Grid square, grid reference 137317, spot height, which is the dot there, 500. So that's a hill, which is one spot height 500, which is 500 meters up. Okay, so that's a spot height 500 meters. That's a hill. That's been measured. There's 500 meters up. Let's go for a third one. Number 3 here. Grid reference 144322. Stream junction. Okay, let's go and have a look for that. 144322. Stream junction. So we've got 14 down the bottom there. There's our 14. We go up to 1432. There's our 32 there. So we go across. Here's our 14. Alright, so we're talking there. That's the grid square we're looking at. What are the next two numbers for our our 6-figure grid references? 144322. So we got to go across 4 and up 2. So let's do that now. Let's get our roamer. So we go across 4. We've gone across 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got our number 4 here. And we go up 2. 1, 2. So we're talking there. Okay, what have we got there? A stream junction. Okay, so there might be a stream going something like this, where I talked about in the last video, where two streams cross as a stream junction. Okay, let's do our last one. Grid reference number 4. Grid reference 126326. 126326. So let's have a look. 1, 2. Down the bottom here. 1, 2. 1, 2, 6, 3, 2, 6. So we've got to go up. 1, 2, 3, 2. We're in this grid square. Okay, so 1, 2, 6, 3, 2, 6. That means we have to go across 6 and up 6. Always go across before we go up. So we're here. We go across to 6. We go up 6. We're here. We're in that little grid square. Okay? What are we looking for? Grid square, 1, 2, 6, 3, 2, 6, track, stream, intersection. Okay, a track and stream intersection. So we might see something like this. It might have a stream going like that. Okay, and a track going like that. Right, the track going through, crossing the stream, or the stream crossing the track. Stream, track, intersection. Okay, so I think all in all, you should have a general good understanding of a 4-figure grid reference, a 6-figure grid reference, and an 8-figure grid reference. Breaking it down to get it more and more accurate as we go along. So what we're going to do really quickly before this memory on this card runs out, okay, is we're going to do it actually on a map. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use my Roma, okay, and we're going to do it on a map. Now, something that I didn't mention on maps, okay, when we're using a map like this that has no cover on it, okay, as in it doesn't have any plastic covering, I've put it in a plastic sheet, we need to use pens, okay, to do our things. Alright, so when I'm talking about pens, when we're doing drawing on it, we need to use either permanent or non-permanent pens when we write on it. So if I was going to write on this map here, I could write on there like that, okay. Alright, you can clearly see that I've drawn a line on there. Okay, and this is not a permanent marker, so I could just rub it out. Okay, so that's what I prefer. Some people prefer to use a permanent marker. This is a permanent marker pen, this one here. I'm not going to use this, but if I was to use it, it's a lot harder to rub out. Okay, it's a lot harder to rub out. Now, yes, you could use things like meths here, methylated spirits, to rub out permanent marker pens. However, from a tactical perspective, well, it's something extra you have to carry, okay, that adds extra weight, and from a tactical perspective, weight is not a good thing, extra weight, and also mess smells, okay, things to rub, chemicals and that to rub stuff out can smell, and a dog, a patrol dog or something like that will smell it kilometres away, okay, up to kilometres away. So that can give away your position, so not a good idea. Best to use non-permanent pens, okay? Or in the case of if you weren't going to use a plastic sheet, use a pencil, okay? And the best pencils are the ones that you can push out like so, okay? And they just push out. All right, so I have both. Anyway, let's go into very quickly on the map here what we did, what we just did with the other thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to use our last ones because I got them off the map anyway. Okay, and let's do our first one. Grid reference 122317. Okay, so I'm going to write that down here. Grid reference 122317. Okay. Now, so we go to number 1, 2. So where's our number 1, 2? Let's have a look here. Okay, So we have grid, there's 1, 2. Okay, so we're going to bring that up on our map. Where are we? So there's our grid reference 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 7. Okay, and we have number 1, 2. So that's this part, 1, 2 done. Okay, the next one we're going to do is the 3, 1, because we want to find the grid square, right? Okay, so we can't see it on this side of the map here because it's folded. So we'll flick it over and we can clearly see that grid square 3, 1. Okay, so that would be 3, 0, and that would be 3, 1 is the first line up. Okay, the first northing up, northing line is the first one up. So we'll flick it back over. So we've got grid reference 1, 2, and then the 3, 1 would be the first line up, which is here. So this here is the grid square that we're going to be dealing with. Okay. Now, what's our next number? 2, 7. So we need to go across 2 and up 7. Okay. And that would take us, if we go across 2, 1, 2, and up 7, that's going to take us to spot height 491, which is what we did before. Okay, so I'm just going to take us back to here. Right, so grid reference 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 7, spot height 491. So I'm going to see if I can get this Roma in here so that you can see it clearly when we put it in. Okay, so here we are in our grid square. There's our spot height 491. We bring in our Roma, our 1 in 50,000 Roma, and we go across 2, okay, and we push the Roma up 7, across 2, and you can see there, I'm trying to do this as accurately as I can through the camera, we are on, if I move my finger up, in that little dot in there, we're at spot height 491. I'll move the Roma out of the way. You can see the spot height there. Okay, spot height 491. And our grid reference was grid reference 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 7. Let's do another one. The second spot height that we did before was grid reference 137, 317, spot height 500. Okay, so let's do that. Grid reference 137, 317. Okay, let's go to 13. Let's write that in. So I'm going to rub this first one here out. Okay, and we'll do another one. So we're going to go grid reference 137, 317. Okay, so let's find that. So grid reference 1, 3. So there, 1, 3. Okay, and 3, 1 was the next one up. We know that. That was 3, 1. So we're talking about this grid square here now. We're talking about the one over here on the right hand side. Talking about that one. Okay. So grid square 1, 3 and 3, 1. Alright. Which will give us this. And the next part of the 6-figure grid reference is 7, 7. So we need to go across 7, which will be about there, and come up 7. And that would be where spot height 500 is. But let's get our Roma. Let's get our Roma on our protractor, which I showed you earlier, and do that again. So, where are we? We're in this grid square. Okay, and we need to go across 7 and up 7. So let's do that now. We get the 1 in 50,000 in meters. Okay, and we go across 7, which is about there. Okay, and we go up 7 to about there. Okay, and if I can get my finger in there, you can clearly see that the dot would be approximately there where it says spot height 500. So I'll move the roamer out of the way, and you can see the spot height there. Spot height 500, which means that where it says spot height 500 there, and those contours there, alright, where it's got that little dot, that's 500 meters high. Okay, so that little orange contour line there would be approximately, or I would say, 480 meters high, that particular contour. The next contour below it, wherever that would be this next one here, would be, and I know I'm doing it with my fingernail, 460 meters. Okay, so it carries on like that. Let's do another one. Okay, you can wet your finger. Okay, so you can see it's on here. Okay, I wet my finger. All right, finger's wet, and then we rub it out, and it comes out nice and easy. So you don't need methylated spirits. You don't need some kind of chemical that smells. You've got to carry extra weight. Okay, it's easy just to rub it off with your finger, or a piece of clothing or something. Get a piece of your clothing and rub it off. All right, let's do the third one really quickly, because I don't want this thing to run out, this camera to run out. Okay, the next one is grid reference of 144322. Okay, grid reference 144322, and we're looking for a stream junction. 144322 stream junction. That's what we did earlier. So let's have a quick look. Okay, grid reference a 14. Let's go across to 14. We find 14. 32. We know this is 30 on the bottom. We know the next line is 31. We know the next one up would be 32. So we're talking here would be 32. So the grid square we're dealing with is this one. I'm not going to draw it in this time. Okay, so we can see it being more accurate. Okay, the next one we've got to do is we've got to go across 4 and up 2. Okay, so we've got to come across 4 and up 2. Okay, and that would give us a stream junction approximately around here. Let's get our roamer out. Okay, when we grab our roamer out, here's the dot where our grid square is, and we're going across 4 and up 2. So we'll get our 1 in 50,000 roamer. We go across 4. Okay, up 2. So, in the middle of that dot there, on the corner of the roamer, is where our stream junction should be. So if I move that out of the way, there's our stream junction. So the stream junction they're talking about is there. Okay, so that's where we might be located on that stream junction. Alright, grid reference 144322, stream junction. Okay, so our time's running out, so I'm going to call it there. I hope that I can see it's flashing on my thing.